And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Adam Beam, and it's the moment we've all been waiting for, the return of the Bob Hall Pier. It's been over 5 years since it was destroyed by Hurricane Hannah, and this morning neighbors from all over came together to celebrate the grand opening. We're now joined by fellow Neighborhood News reporter Drew Bishop, who has been covering the celebration all morning. He's joining us live with the details. Drew, how's it going out there?
Hey, good afternoon, Adam. I want to set the stage for you real quick as we're seeing some fishermen who have already made their catch coming down the brand new Bob Hall Pier. Listen, hey, prices are rising. We've got a lot of water issues in the coastal bend. There are things to be concerned about. But today, here at the Bob Hall Pier, it was about unity, positivity, celebrating a coastal bend landmark, rejoining the coast right here on the Gulf you see here behind me. It started off early in the morning. Brent Chesney tells me he was here at 5:30 a.m. to celebrate, to just take it all in. It's a big day for him. Him and his office have worked very hard on this project. We got words from Judge Connie Scott. We got words from Troy Adler on the Coastal Parks Board, words from a lot of different local leaders. It was a who's who here on the island today. But most importantly were the hundreds, even thousands of neighbors who came out to the island to celebrate this momentous occasion. Let me walk you through what my experience was like. So they cut the ribbon. I'm filming the ribbon cutting. I step up onto the pier and it's a horde. It's hundreds of fishermen, surfers, people. OTB Future Fishers Foundation brought a bus full of kids today to come see the brand new pier. And that just shows the excitement, the adrenaline, the anticipation behind a project that has been years in the making. We know it's been wrecked by hurricanes going all the way back to 1950, but this pier is bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. And most importantly, the positivity, the unity of this event. We're going to continue covering this all day today. I'll have a little bit more for you in the 12:30 half hour of our show today. I'll have more at 5 and 6 o'clock. For now, Drew Bishop on Padre Island signing out. Back to you in the studio, Adam.
Well, Drew, that is really great to hear. Now, a little bit of history about the Bob Hall Pier. July 2020, the historic pier was severely damaged and ultimately destroyed by Hurricane Hannah. But in the months and years that followed, Nueces County got to work, not just cleaning up the wreckage, but planning a comeback. Design teams went back to the drawing board. Community members weighed in, permits were filed, and plans were revised. In 2022, demolition of what remained of the old pier began, marking a new chapter. Then in 2024, Nueces County officially gave the green light for the rebuild, awarding a multi-million-dollar construction contract and setting the project in motion. The contractor was given 460 days to complete the work. On October 7, 2024, leaders, community members, and supporters gathered for a groundbreaking ceremony, a symbolic step forward along the shoreline. The project didn't meet that 460-day goal, but today we are here. And Bob Hall Pier suffered a lot of damage from Hurricane Hannah, and for that, to explain it a little bit more for us, we have meteorologist Stephen Jones with us. So tell us a little bit about, the pier and the destruction that Hannah had brought all those years ago.
Ooh, absolutely. A lot of people have one main question when it comes to Bob Hall Pier and it coming down. Why wasn't it Harvey that brought down the Bob Hall Pier, of course, and why was it Hannah whenever it was a Category 1 compared to Harvey making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane? Well, I want to dive just a little bit deeper into that, and what we're going to start off with is, well, we're going to talk about the quadrants of a hurricane as it starts to work into the area. The first quadrant we're going to start to focus on when a hurricane is starting to work in is that front right quadrant. Now, let's say this storm direction is heading off to the north towards the top of your screen, and that front right quadrant is going to be right here. Whenever you have a hurricane, you get a counterclockwise circulation, and whenever you combine that with the storm direction, this front right quadrant gets kind of a double whammy in terms of that storm surge. So that's where you see the worst effects, not to mention the leading edge of those storms. So altogether, just the worst effects in terms of that quadrant. The left front quadrant, you start to get just a little bit of a difference in terms of that storm direction and the wind motion. So not quite as bad in terms of the storm surge. Now, in that bottom right quadrant, you still get quite a bit of storm surge, not quite as much storm storms working into the area since they've stifled off just a little bit. But that back left quadrant considered the weakest typically because you get the winds and the storm direction in opposite directions, so storm surge not quite as bad. Now let's talk about the orientation of these two storms. Harvey landed to the north of Corpus Christi, so we were in that front left quadrant, not too much storm surge. But when Hannah worked into the area, that was off to the south, and we were in that front right quadrant, causing more storm surge and bringing the ultimate destruction of Bob Hall Pier. Of course, I'll break more down on our full weather forecast for the 7-day. That's coming up in just a few more minutes.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Looking forward to it. The Bob Hall Pier has been a staple to many of us in the Coastal Bend, including our neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels. We had a chance to talk to some neighbors and to see why this landmark matters to them and the community.
You know, to see it come back, it feels like a little piece of me coming back.
After 6 years, Bob Hall Pier is back, rising again over the Padre Island surf. For this tight-knit fishing and surfing community, it's more than just a structure, it's part of their history. That's where I met surfer John Steele. He says he actually watched the original pier collapse during Hurricane Hannah.
I actually watched the pier fall on the camera when the hurricane hit. We had a surf camera on there, so it's great to have it back. Like I said, it's one of my favorite spots. I love all the history that came with it and all the stories from the older guys. And like I said, there's incredible barrels there at times, and that's what I'm here to get.
From surfers chasing waves to anglers casting lines, the excitement stretches beyond the shoreline. At the jetties, I found plenty of fishermen ready to reclaim a classic spot.
Excited to see everybody enjoy the pier. Read that it's the first 90 days are free, which will be good for some of the folks that can't afford to go there.
And for some, the grand opening of the new Bob Hall Pier is deeply personal. At Causeway Bait and Tackle, I met Eleda Cuellar. She showed me a photo of herself standing in front of the pier in 1984.
And we love being there. We love being there.
After years of waiting, this community says the pier isn't just rebuilt, it's restored.
Jacob, thank you. And for many, the pier wasn't just wood and concrete. It's built of countless memories that were made. Now a new generation gets the chance to make their own. We asked our viewers on Facebook to share some of their Bob Hall Pier memories. This is Dan Egan. He says, 11/17/17, dead shrimp on bottom. Be sure to head over to our Facebook page and share some of your memories as well. One question neighbors are asking is, what's it going to cost to visit the pier? We've got a bit of good news there. Admission for Bob Hall Pier is free for the first 90 days. After that, if you just want to walk on the pier, $3. Seniors, active military, and disabled veterans will be charged $1 for the anglers, and it's $4 for the anglers, per pole, and $1 a pole for seniors, military, and veterans. There's also a $50 annual walk-on pass.
We don't want to outprice people to be able to come use it. And so if there is a fee, it's going to be a nominal fee.
Annual passes are also available, and officials say these are the cheapest pier prices on the entire Texas coast. And for all the latest on the opening of the Bob Hall Pier and to watch all of our coverage, keep it right here at KRISTV.com.